We are back with a recap of the Blue Jackets' thrilling win against the Montreal Canadiens by the final score of 6-4. Before the game, it was revealed that Elvis would be out for 1 to 2 weeks, which feels like dodging a bullet the way that this season has gone. Although Jake Bean does not seem to be so lucky, he is listed out as indefinitely, with Brad Larson saying that it's not good as far as his injury status is confirmed. So who knows how long Jake Bean is going to be out for. Jake Voracek has been out indefinitely now for a while, so it seems like Jake Bean is along those same lines. Jack Roslovic was brought back into the lineup, and Brendan Gaunce got the press box treatment. As for the actual game itself, Sean Kuraly has been playing on a different level since coming back. He just seems to be all over the place. He's winning faceoffs. In this game, he showed up on the score sheet and it was the first star of the game, and rightfully so. I feel like Korpisalo had another solid outing. There were a couple goals that you might not want to see him give up, maybe a little leaky, but I feel like he also kept the Jackets in the game a lot of it. There were a lot of prime chances that the Canadiens got that Corby simply just refused to let in. So while he did give up a couple of weaker goals, he also did keep the Jackets from giving up more goals than they probably ended up giving. So the team is now on a 4-game point streak, and 3 of them being wins. I do think it matters how many games you actually win on a point streak. If it's like a 5-game point streak, but only 2 of them are wins, I think it's a bit of a paper tiger, but they do have 3 wins on this 4-game point streak. I do think that is really solid, and the team is probably the best 4-game stretch that this team has played, and it's kind of inexplicable as this team hasn't been as hit with injuries, and they just now seem to be hitting their stride. But anyway, in the first period, Montreal had momentum early, but then Cole Sillinger would force an own goal. He kind of flung. At first, I thought Chinikov scored it, but it turns out he just flung it over. It went off Montembeault and off of a Montreal defender and into the net. Cool. You'll take them however you can get them. More solid play from Corpy leads to Gus Nyquist scoring off of a nice feed from Gavin Bayreuther, offensive genius Gavin Bayreuther, of course. And that would be the score as the first period would end 2-0. The second period was a bit more controlled by Montreal. The Jackets definitely playing a bit sloppier. There was a chaotic sequence that led to a Jordan Harris goal for Montreal. I believe that was his first of the season. And then with 2.1 seconds left in the period, after a barrage of penalties on both teams, Montreal with a 4-on-3. Big Josh Anderson in his, he's already been back to Columbus, I think, but back in where he has spent the majority of his career, he scores with 2.1 seconds left to tie the game. And then Matthew Olivier and Arbor Xhekaj fought. That was fine, I guess. Second period ends all tied up at 2, and then all hell breaks loose in the third period. The Jackets getting hemmed in at first. Korpisalo again doing some really nice work to keep this game tied and keep the Jackets in a fighting spirits, because we've seen this team kind of shut down after a couple of bad bounces. But again, Corby keeping this game tied, keeping things held together. Good on him. That Josh Anderson goal is one of those goals that you might not want to see him give up, as it did kind of go in between his arm and his body. You don't want to see him give it up, but again, he did pick up his play in the third. And then Boone Jenner would score off of a great play on a 3-on kind of 1.5 by Johnny Gaudreau and Kent Johnson. Kent Johnson was promoted to the top line, which I personally love to see that. I would like to see more of that, please, moving forward. I'd like to see that at least while Line A is going to be out with injury. As long as he's out, I would not mind seeing Kent Johnson getting top line minutes. Let's see what he can do with them. If it doesn't work out, then at least you tried. At least you tried to get your prime prospect some premium minutes on a team that who knows, they're playing good right now, but who knows how long that lasts. So Montreal did get momentum essentially right back from that goal. Brendan Gallagher scores off of a nice passing play from Montreal. Maybe Corby shouldn't have been that far out of his net, but it was just a nice play by Montreal. Sometimes you have to give the other team a little bit of credit. And then Sean Kuraly, I mentioned him earlier. He gets an end-to-end goal, splitting 2 Montreal guys. Who cares who they are? And then he beats Montembeault for the score to put the Jackets back in the lead. And then Matthew Olivier snipe. Did I write that down right? I saw it with my own 2 eyes, and I can still kind of hardly believe that I saw it. I remember when I first saw the goals, like, did Matthew Olivier do that? And he did. Matthew Olivier with a tremendous snipe off of a Sean Kuraly faceoff win in the offensive zone. Sometimes those things just happen. And then Nick Suzuki answers right back immediately with a goal that goes off of Corpy back into the net. That's another one where you would want Corpy to kind of maybe close the gap between himself and his goal a little bit more. A bit of a leaky goal to give up. So that means there were 4 goals in a span of 1 minute and 50 seconds, 2 goals apiece for each team. The game is back within a 1-goal game with the Jackets holding on to a 1-goal lead. There would be some chances that would happen. Again, both goalies kind of settling the game down, but the game relatively was a little bit not as active until Montreal pulled their goalie, and then Sean Kuraly settled in a loose puck for his second goal and his 3rd point of the night. On that first Sean Kuraly goal where he went end to end, I do believe they gave Eric Robinson an assist, but Eric Robinson didn't really do a whole lot as far as Sean Kuraly scoring. And on the empty netter, Sean Kuraly didn't get it was an unassisted goal. And then I think it was Boone Jenner who might have scored an empty net goal, but it went in right after the buzzer went off. So no garbage time goal for Boone Jenner. So too bad, so sad. This is back-to-back games for the Blue Jackets that seemed to get more unhinged as the game went on. In the first and second period there were 2 goals, but the second period definitely looked sloppier than the first, at least to me. And then in the third period, again, it was just an explosion of goals there in the span of less than 2 minutes. And then obviously empty net goals and all that stuff happened. So again, decent win for the Blue Jackets, and this team gets, it's been decimated by injuries, and they're still playing hard. And now they're getting results and standings points on the score sheets. And if they can continue this for another week or 2, then maybe the talks about tanking for Bedard or getting a really high draft pick in the lottery, maybe they calm down a little bit. But the Jackets are still a way far away from actually contending for anything, let alone a playoff spot. They still have a long way to go to dig themselves out of this hole that they've dug early on in the season. It's going to be an uphill battle, especially as there are more games being played by guys you didn't plan on being in the lineup when the season started, but for now, you will take the win. So thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, please feel free to leave a like and a subscribe. If you enjoyed the video and you'd like to see more like it, let me know what you thought about this game down in the comments below, and I will see you at the next one.